Okay.
Oh, crap, you need the proclamations.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, oh, I know. I was just saying.
Can you do me a favor? I just call, yeah, and then, we'll find out when it's registration. I don't need that.
I'll do public service.
Thank you.
Or me.
You're welcome.
And you do municipal service.
Yeah, pick one, I'll do one. Yeah, whichever one you don't want to do.
You want to do safety month, or do you want me to do that?
Ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided to the Co-Star, the official newspaper of the Borough of Belmar, and the Asbury Park Press, and notice of this meeting was posted on the bulletin board of the municipal building. Take roll call. Councilwoman Kinney.
Here.
Mayor Buckafusco.
Here.
Councilman Roddenero.
Here.
Councilman Levis.
Here.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence for our troops, their families, and our first responders. Okay, thank you. We're going to start off with 3 proclamations. The first one, Building Safety Month.
Topic I was just speaking about. Building Safety Month, May 2025. Whereas the Borough of Belmar, County of Monmouth, State of New Jersey is committed to recognizing the growth and strength depends on safety and economic value of homes and buildings and infrastructure that serve our citizens both in everyday life and in times of natural disaster. And whereas our confidence in the structural integrity of these buildings that make up our community is achieved through the devotion of vigilant guardians, building safety and fire prevention officials, architects, engineers, builders, tradespeople, design professionals, laborers, and others in the construction industry who work year-round to ensure the safe construction of buildings. And whereas these guardians are dedicated members of the International Code Council, a U.S.-based organization that brings together local, state, and federal officials that are experts in built environment to create and implement the highest quality codes to protect us in buildings where we live, learn, work, worship, play. And whereas these modern building codes include safeguards to protect the public from hazards such as hurricanes, snowstorms, tornadoes, wildfires, floods, and earthquakes. And whereas Building Safety Month is sponsored by the International Code Council to remind the public about the critical role of our communities, largely unknown protectors of public safety, our local code officials, who assure us of safe, substantial, and affordable buildings that are essential to our prosperity. And whereas Get in the Game and Celebrate Building Safety is the theme of Building Safety Month 2025, encourages us all to raise awareness about planning for safe and sustainable construction, career opportunities, and building safety, understanding disaster mitigation, energy conservation, and creating safe and abundant water supply for all of our benefit. And whereas each year, in observance of Building Safety Month, people all over the world are asked to consider the commitment to improve building safety, resilience, and economic investment at home and in the community, and to acknowledge the essential service provided to us by local and state building departments, fire prevention bureaus, and federal agencies in protecting lives and property. Therefore, the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Belmar County, County of Monmouth, State of New Jersey, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2025 as Building Safety Month.
Thank you. Our next proclamation is for Public Service Week.
Public Service Recognition Week. Whereas Americans are served every day by public servants at the federal, state, county, and municipal levels. These unsung heroes do the work that keeps our nation working. And whereas public employees take not only jobs but oaths. And whereas whereas many public servants, including military personnel, police officers, firefighters, border patrol officers, embassy employees, healthcare professionals, and others, risk their lives each day in service to the people of the United States and around the world. And whereas public servants include teachers, doctors, and scientists, train conductors and astronauts, nurses and safety inspectors, laborers, computer technicians, and social workers, and countless other occupations. Day in and day out, they provide the diverse services demanded by the American people of their government with efficiency and integrity. And whereas without these public servants at every level, continuity would be impossible in a democracy that regularly changes its leaders and elected officials. Now, therefore, the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Belmar do hereby announce and proclaim to all citizens that May 4th through the 10th is Public Service Recognition Week. All citizens are encouraged to recognize the accomplishments and contributions of government employees at all levels, federal, state, county, and municipal.
Thank you. And last but not least, Municipal Clerks Week, Councilwoman Kinney.
Thank you. Okay, so the 55th Annual Professional Municipal Clerks Week is May 4th to May 10th. Whereas the Office of the Professional Municipal Court, a time-honored and vital part of global government, exists throughout the world, and whereas the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk is oldest among public servants, and whereas the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk provides the professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, the agencies of government at other levels, and at other levels, whereas professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. Whereas the professional municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community. Whereas professional municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, provincial, county, and international professional organizations. Whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the compliments of the Office of the Professional Municipal Clerk. Now, therefore, the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Belmar recognize the week of May 4th through 10th, 2025 as Professional Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to our Professional Municipal Clerk, April Claudio, and to all professional municipal clerks of New Jersey for their vital service they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. Hey, April.
Okay, are there any discussions for workshop tonight? Hearing none, seeing none, let's move on to petitions.
Mayor, I did not receive any petitions.
Okay, then we're up to the approval of minutes.
Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the April 15th meeting?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, Councilwoman Kinney,
Yes.
Mayor Buckfusco,
Yes.
Councilman Montanaro,
Yes.
Councilman Levis.
Yes.
Okay, reports of council, Councilwoman Kinney.
Oh, yeah, great. Okay, so Shade Tree Commission and the Environmental Commission are going to be doing a joint meeting next week. And that's going to be the second Thursday, which I think is the 8th. I didn't write it down, but I'm pretty sure it's a week from Thursday. And it's going to be at 6:30 right here. So if you would like to join and see how we work together, please join us at 6:30. The Belmar Lake Home Environmental Commission is doing a gardening and landscaping workshop this Saturday, May 3rd at Taylor Pavilion from 10 to 12:15. The Shade Tree Commission just wanted to put it out there if anybody would like to come to Taylor Pavilion and learn about gardening and such and landscaping. The next ADA meeting is this Thursday the 1st at 6:30 at the library. Recreation, summer basketball, summer tennis, and running club signups are still open. And Barry from Recreation just wanted to thank everyone who participated in the Easter egg hunt. Said thank you to all the volunteers who helped direct the children and hide the eggs. It was a huge success. Everything ran smoothly, and he was just grateful that it all went well. Real quick around the skate park. The skate park's going to be having a tent at the Seafood Festival. We're going to be selling T-shirts. We're going to be selling bricks for sale, like you can engrave your own brick at the entrance of the skate park. We're also going to be having a local artist paint skate decks, blank skate decks, art that you can use for your own skateboard, hang your, house, whatever you like. And our Spend to Shred event, all businesses who wish to participate, portion of sales are gonna be donated back to the Belmar Skate Park. If you would like to participate or know a business who would, please contact me at jkinney@belmar.com. Couple things around the school. St. Rose Grammar School, First Holy Communion is this Saturday, 9:30 at St. Rose Church. And 8th grade confirmation is May 13th at 5:30 p.m. And May 20th is Carnival Day. So that's always a big, fun day for the whole school, grammar school, over in their blacktop. Belmar Elementary School, May 21st. The Belmar Elementary School kids are going to be presenting a $4,000 check, which they raised during their Neurodiversity Week to Alair Community Farms. So they're really excited to go there and present the check. And then St. Rose High School, 2 weeks ago, several students, including my own kids, participated in the Sleep Out. That's where the kids sleep out for homelessness, to raise money for Covenant House, which is for homeless teens. And the kids who participated raised $13,000 for Covenant House, which is pretty impressive. And then the last thing I have is this birding at the Jersey Shore. It's Tuesday, May 6th. If anybody wants to learn more about birding at the Jersey Shore, it's at Taylor Pavilion. It starts at 6:30, doors open 7 p.m. And you can learn all about birds on the Jersey Shore. So, look at that. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Council President Rondinero.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to first thank our incredible, hardworking employees, since it is Public Service Recognition Week, and we won't be here for it because we don't start, I think, until the 12th for our next meeting, 12th or 13th, and that is the 4th through the 10th. Our employees are the lifeblood of our borough, we are just so grateful, so thank you. Also wanted to thank our CFO, Lorraine Carafa, for working so hard on the budget this year, and our auditor, John Swisher. Considering inflation, the large increase in pension and health insurance, I'm really impressed that this budget isn't much of an increase for taxpayers as it could have been. So thank you, and thank you for the mayor and all who worked on the budget. Really fabulous work. Our next Belmar Housing Authority meeting is next Monday, the 5th at 5:15. It's open to the public. I want to thank the chief and the police department for checking in on the DHA building when we had our power outage on the 16th. Last weekend, the library held a great local authors book sale, which was wonderful. The library does have a copy of each and every one of these books. So if you missed the book sale and you want to check out some of the authors, please go into the library and check them out. The next library board meeting is May 12th at 6 p.m. and that's open to the public too. Just a reminder that the Belmar Women's Club scholarship forms are on belmar.com. And those applications must be in by May 13th. So if you know of a high school senior who needs a scholarship, please have them look into it. The month of May is chock full of weeks and days to honor those who serve and protect us locally. Public Service Week, Police Week, EMS Week, Water Safety Week, International Fighters Day. So once again, Belmar is going to have a flag raising ceremony for our first responders. And we'll have some first responders speaking. We'll have the touch-a truck for the kids, which I thought maybe they don't want to do that this year. I mean, the first responders, it's a lot of work. And as soon as we put it out there, we got emails back saying, oh no, we want to do it. We'll bring the trucks, we'll go bring the kids. Like, thank you, And that was just really, really refreshing and nice, because even in their time where we're trying to appreciate them, they're thinking about our community. So that was awesome. That is going to be May 9th, Friday, May 9th at 4 p.m. right outside of these doors here, inside of Borough Hall. So please join us. The yard sale is Saturday and Sunday. And then lastly, the day we've all been waiting for, the mayor's going to talk about. So I'll leave it to him. Thanks.
There is no mayor's week, is there?
I'll make
No, okay. Just thought I missed it. Councilman Levis.
Thank you, Mayor. Just some updates on the Marina Fuel Dock. Progress is going well. The dock is there. The electrical workers were down there today getting the electric stuff ready for the pumps. Targeting May 14th is open for business sooner if the weather's good, but May 14th is sort of our target date. After that, they're gonna start looking at some of the repairs on H dock. That's in pretty bad shape, so we can get that cleared and improved. And then you'll see on the agenda today, we have the rates for the lane. And again, we're not changing any of the rates, it's just we're taking some of the as-is slips off of those discounted rates because now we've fixed the pilings. We don't have to charge a discounted rate for those anymore, so should be looking in good shape now with the marina.
Very good, and that's good news about the fuel cup
It is.
for our boaters in the area. And I have one thing, the last that they left me was the,
Before we do the finale, right, I'd also just like to mention that the Unity Tour kicks off in Spring Lake, right? Chief Scott, you wanna tell, is that the 8th, May 8th?
It's May 9th,
Oh, May 9th in the morning, Friday morning, and what time?
7 a.m.
Oh, 7 a.m., okay. If anybody would like to go, it is really kind of inspiring and cool to see, so if anybody would like to see the Unity Tour kick off. And can you tell us where in Spring Lake, Chief?
The North End Pavilion.
North End Pavilion. Thank you.
What is it?
The Unity Tour is a police tour for all fallen police men and women, servicemen and women, and they go from, now they're starting here in Spring Lake, they've started in Belmar in the past, and they go to Washington DC. So it's actually pretty inspiring to see that, so thank you.
On bicycles.
On bicycles, yes, I'm sorry, did I forget to mention that? On bicycles. They don't walk, they are on bicycles. Sorry about that.
okay, and finally, as we've said, May 3rd is a very busy day in town. You know, we have the townwide garage sale, St. Rose has their communion, and we have the dedication ceremony for the piano in Piano Plaza for David Sanchez and his mother Stelma. And David is actually going to be in town that day and will be at the ceremony and will be playing, I believe, 6 compositions that he wrote for all of us to attend. So I think it'll be a very nice ceremony, and you know, almost like we had kind of like a brief ceremony. What was it, a couple of months ago? But this is the main event. So if you're available, I would say come out. It's going to be starting at around 2 o'clock, and it should be a good time. And just everyone pray that the rain passes us. That's supposed to be coming on that day. Okay. Anything else? Nope. Okay, that's it. Guess we'll move on to the 2025 budget hearing.
Yes.
Do we want to sit up here or do you want to go down?
Is there a PowerPoint? I think I'm gonna go down there.
As many of you know, the budget process is a long, tedious process that we have to comply with certain requirements of the state before we can actually adopt the budget. So the process is we introduce the budget, we send it off to the state, doing our best to make sure that we are totally in compliance with the state rules and regulations before the budget is introduced. Sometimes, given our best efforts, those things don't happen. So we had a little glitch this year, which requires us to amend the budget. So throughout this presentation, you're going to see figures that relate to the original budget as it was introduced, because that's what the public hearing tonight is about, the original introduced budget. And then what we will be doing is amending the budget. The council will approve a resolution to amend the budget, which makes certain changes that were required by the state. That will bring us into compliance with state rules and regulations, and it gives us a basis for going forward for the final adoption of the amended budget on May 13th. So this is a little tedious, and I get that, but it's all important information that you should have as residents of the borough. So our total municipal budget, when we introduced the budget, was $24,138,604.01. After the amendment, which will be approved tonight, the total budget will be $23,940,000. I'm missing a number. Sorry about that. Oh, boy. I apologize.
354.
354, we're missing a 501.
354.
And that's just the current fund. The borough is comprised of 4 separate funds, and we have the current fund, which is the major fund that funds the operations of all of our departments, with the exception of beach and the water sewer utility. So each component has its own budget, and the budget for the current fund initially was $24,138,604.01. It's going to be, after the amendment, $23,943,54.01. The water sewer utility is $4,220,882.72. The beach utility is $7,702,973.22, and the parking utility is $132,500. So the current fund is made up of appropriations and revenues. So overall, the 2025 proposed budget as amended is under the 2% levy cap, utilizing the exceptions permitted by the state pursuant to the 2025 budget guidance. The original 2025 introduced budget was over the 2.5% appropriations cap, and the borough is required to amend the introduced budget to be compliant with state statute. The proposed tax rate for municipal purposes only was estimated to be at 58 cents per $100 of assessed valuation. For a home assessed at the borough average of $596,870, this represented an annual increase of $397.03. After amendment, the proposed tax rate is estimated to be 56.6 cents per $100 of assessed valuation. And for the home assessed at the borough average, it represents an annual increase of $375.21. Inflation is still a concern, although it has moderated, and the overall year-over-year increase is 2.8%. The expenditure portion of our budget, there were some significant increases that we were required to address within the budget document itself. So debt service increased to $2,230,388 from $2,058,225, or $172,163. This increase is partially offset by realizing revenue received from FEMA during 2023 and 2024. These are for projects that mostly occurred during Sandy that had never actually been closed out. So we never actually fully realized all of the revenue that the borough should have received at that time. So we have collected a significant money back to the borough, and we're using that to pay down our debt on an annual basis. So we'll be appropriating some money in each of the succeeding fiscal years. Our pension costs increased. This is a figure that we have no control over. It comes from the state, and they advise us what we have to appropriate. Unfortunately, this year, although pension increases over 2% of the prior year appropriation were a permitted exclusion under the levy cap, but they were not an exclusion under the appropriations cap, which makes no sense. But this is the state, so this is what we're dealing with. Our health insurance costs increased approximately 25% to $3,096,529, with $302,628 appropriated outside of the 2.5% appropriations cap, from prior year $2,484,781, when there was no outside the cap appropriation. EMS operational costs were reallocated due to the expiration of the shared services agreements, resulting in an increase in costs of approximately $113,000. The expenses are offset by anticipated revenue to be realized from payments for services rendered. The contractual costs of trash removal and recycling services increased to $435,800 and $232,600 from $415,800 and $212,600 respectively. And by creating cap exceptions, the state allows temporary increases in appropriations above the 2.5% appropriations cap. However, there is an associated increase in the tax rate to fund the increased appropriations. So this is a challenge that the state presents us every year, and every year it gets a little bit more steep. Based on, and there are two sets of figures up there. The first figure is the figure that was within the budget as it was introduced. The second figure is where the amendments come in. So for other expenses, excuse me, the appropriations were $10,991,228.94. They are going to be $10,892,978.94. Salary and wages were $7,019,019,376, and they're going to be $5,894,376. Debt service stayed the same at $2,005,387.50. Shared services is going to increase, and that's because as part of this whole budget review process, we are moving the police services contract from and inside the cap, and I'm getting down into the weeds here so you understand. It's inside the cap. We're moving it outside the cap as a shared service, so that gives us some room to, as an exception to the appropriation caps that we've been facing, the issues that we've been facing. So shared services is going to increase from $568,098.15 to $1,593,098.15. Reserve for uncollected taxes remains at $800,000. The library appropriation remains at $973,580, and deferred charges and statutory expenses, which includes our pension contributions, will be as previously presented at $1,389,3342. The second part of the second component of our budget is the revenue. So the borough proposes to apply originally the borough proposed to apply $3,383,000 from fund balance for the 2025 budget. In 2024, the borough applied $3,035,000. But as amended, the proposed use of fund balances drops to $3,236,750, and that would be an increase over 2024 of $201,750. And we are anticipating the same amount in state aid that we received in 2024. The figures on the revenue side, the amount to be raised by taxation is going from $11,427,756.92 to $11,175,756.92. Local revenues are decreasing from $5,622,501 to $4,772,501. Fund balance is dropping from $3,383,000 to $3,236,750. Marina slip rental stays the same. We're anticipating the same amount for the following revenue sources: marina, delinquent taxes, state aid, grants, and construction code. The only change will be in shared services, excuse me, which will reflects a similar amount of increase from the as on the appropriation side to $1,593,098.15. As far as the municipal tax rate goes, as proposed, the original budget presented, the tax rate was 58 cents per $100 of assessed valuation, which would have been a 6.7 cent increase. As amended, the the rate, it will be 56.6 cents per $100 of assessed valuation, or a 5.3 cent increase. The average residential assessment is $596,870. The average municipal tax rate per residential property as originally proposed was $3,461.44. As amended, it will be $3,375.59. The average total residential, total tax for residential property is going from $9,143.05 to $9,059.67. And this figure includes estimated county and school taxes and the library tax. Next up is the water sewer utility. The categories are the same. We have revenues and we have revenue and appropriations. The other expenses are $2,740,710.88. Capital and debt, $966,961.84. Salary and wages, $513,210, and there were no deferred charges in this budget. The revenues are broken basically. The revenue comes from water sewer billings, and that's estimated to be $3,688,832.72. And the use of fund balance is estimated at, not estimated, it's proposed at $532,050. The beach utility appropriations are broken down. Salary and wages, obviously, that's our most expensive component of this budget, $3,873,005. Other expenses, $1,793,330. Capital and debt service, $1,034,750, and deferred charges, which in this case is payment for debt that was authorized but not issued. So that totals $1,001,888.22, and to offset that, we're anticipating additional revenue from the proceeds from the FEMA receipts. So this way, that's an offset. The revenues, of course, the biggest component of our revenue for the beach utility comes from beach badge sales, which is estimated to be $3,956,085. We're using $2,385,000 in fund balance. We have other miscellaneous of $360,000, and reserve for debt service payments is $1,001,888.22, which is consistent with what was appropriated in the budget on the expense side. Our parking utility is very simple: $60,000 in salary and wages, $15,000 in other expenses, and $50,000 in capital and debt. There is no debt in the parking utility, but those are the categories that we're required to use by the state. And obviously, parking revenues comes from parking fees, which we're estimating at $132,500, which is consistent with what we expect to spend in the parking utility. So that concludes our portion of the presentation. I will defer to Mayor and Council at this point.
Okay, let me start by just asking the council if any of you have questions on the presentation. If not, I'll open it up to the public and see if they have any questions. Now's the time to ask the questions because we have the experts here. Please don't wait to the end because I'll just be punting it to them and I'll have to tell you at the next meeting.
Neil Scheck, Ward 10, 4th Avenue.
That should be able to be raised.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Anyway, what monies from parking go to the general revenue of the borough and what goes to the beach?
Okay, I'm not sure I understand the question, but.
I'm asking, all the money in the town is collected from the parking meters.
Right.
how much of it goes to the beach?
I can't tell you the dollar amount, but the principle in general is the parking along the boardwalk, the park mobile, that people pay during the hours that the beach is open, that revenue goes to the beach. Okay, that is not going into the general fund. All of the other park mobile hours, like after, what is it, 6 o'clock that the beach closes? Anything collected after 6 o'clock up until 2 a.m., that goes into the general fund, I believe.
Well, it goes into the parking.
It goes into the parking
And
fund.
then it can be allocated from the parking utility for purposes necessary to the operation of the parking utility, or at council's discretion, it could be used to offset some, the needs of the current fund, the general fund. But if you like to know the exact breakdown, I can give you the 2024 figures, I just don't have that information with me tonight.
I think the parking figures are they on the website? thought
I don't
they
know
were.
if they're actually on the website, but we do have a report which gives us a running
Right.
balance of
Yeah.
where the allocation is
Yeah,
and what is broken down for the various zones that we
right.
have.
Yeah, we have a spreadsheet that breaks that all down, and it shows exactly what goes to the beach and what goes to the town. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none,
Can I have a motion to close the budget hearing?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 2025-75, resolution authorizing the amendment?
We're actually introducing the amendment. We'll adopt the amendment at the next meeting as well. Because there's gonna be there's gonna be a budget, there's gonna be a hearing on the amendment only at the May 13th meeting. So it's basically approving, council is approving the amendments tonight, and we're going to have, they have to be advertised, so they'll be advertised in the Post-Star on May 1st. Then we'll have the public hearing at the May 13th meeting, and then you will adopt the amendments, which creates the full,
final budget.
the full approval of the budget document.
So we need to do this resolution.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we can,
Yes, so can I have a motion to approve Resolution 2025-75, resolution authorizing the amendment of the 2025 budget?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Councilman Donovan?
Yes.
Councilman Kinney?
Yeah.
Mayor Buckafusco?
Yes.
Councilman Rondonero?
Yes.
Councilman Levis?
Yes.
Okay, next we have the public session on the other resolutions on the agenda. If anyone would like to speak about one of them, please step forward, state your name and address. Okay, can I have a motion to close the public session?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to approve the resolutions as listed on the consent agenda?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Councilwoman Donovan?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinney?
Yes.
Mayor Buckafusco?
Yes.
Councilman Rondonero?
Yes.
Councilman Levis?
Yes.
Next, we have ordinance 2025-9. This is an ordinance amending, supplementing Chapter 29, Water Sewer Utility, specifically Section 7.1, Water Sewer Rates. Do I have a motion to offer ordinance 2025-9 for first reading and introduction?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Councilwoman Donovan?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinney?
Yes.
Mayor Buckafusco?
Yes.
Councilman Rondonero?
Yes.
Councilman Levis?
Yes.
All right, so now we're on to the regular public session. Anyone have anything to say?
Sure. Neil Sheck, 410 Fourth Ave. Because the joint meeting of environmental and shade tree isn't happening until May 8th, I felt I had to bring this up now regarding the honey locust trees in town. Just in case someone is planning, borough is planning on planting any between now and May 8th, or ordering any to be planted between now and May 8th. That's why I'm bringing this to the attention of the council, because on May 8th, I might go to that meeting and they'll say, you're too late, we ordered them or we planted them, so that's why I'm bringing it up now. I don't think the honey locust is a good tree. Now, according to my source book, Identifying Trees, an All-Season Guide to Eastern North America by Michael D. Williams, the natural range for honey locust, is the central United States. The eastern edge of the range ranges from western Maryland down the western side of the Appalachian Mountains and continues at the same angle to southern Louisiana. In other words, it is not native to anywhere near New Jersey. You have to go as far west as western Maryland. But I've been told that it's a native tree. And the people in the Shade Tree Commission may believe it is a native tree. And if they have other information, I'd be happy to see it. But if part of their justification for planting it is that it is a native tree, my source says no, it is not. Now, as they describe the tree in this book, they describe the large and long thorns growing from the tree. Now, last year I brought in a branch to show, and the environmental liaison, Caitlin Donovan, wasn't here, but I showed off the thorns in case the council was interested in seeing it. Nobody seemed very interested. But I think they're dangerous. And there's going to be a cleanup at Silver Lake, inviting children there. And when I walk my dog around the lake, I regularly pick up trash. It's something that makes me feel good about myself. It's something that I think everyone should do. And I'm saying it in public that I do it because it does make me feel good, and I think other people should follow my example. And when you walk down the street and there's a piece of garbage, and you walk down the same street the next day, and the same piece of garbage is sitting there, I feel ashamed of myself I didn't pick it up yesterday. Okay? So that's why I like to pick up garbage around Silver Lake. But I don't go anywhere near those honey locusts because of the thorns. And you might notice there is more garbage along those stretches because for long stretches along Silver Lake, there are these forbidding, dangerous thorns. And I don't know why they are tolerated. Now, the borough, I was told, when the trees grow large, they don't have the thorns anymore. Why are there hundreds? There are hundreds of these sprouts. I'm sure the borough isn't planning on having hundreds of large honey locust trees there. So what? Is it to keep people away from the lake? Is that why they're there? Because I can't see any other justification. Now, the other matter is that the borough actually has been planting these trees, paying for them and planting them. But according to my source book, several thornless varieties of honey locust have been developed for urban use. So I assume the ones that are being planted are thornless, I hope. And I still don't think it's an attractive tree when there are so many great trees that could be planted. So my immediate concern is the triangular park. Thank you, Mayor, for addressing the concern about the curbs at the triangular park at 5th Avenue and D Street. But the 3 Bradford pear trees were taken down last week, which is a good thing, because we all know those are not good trees to plant. And I'm concerned that more honey locust trees are going to be planted in the park before I have a chance to make an objection. So that's why I'm stating my piece now in front of the Borough Council. Thank you.
Okay, I think what I can do is I'll reach out to Jim Sharrock, and I'll ask him to just advise me and the council as to what plans they have in terms of trees that they're going to be planting. And this way we'll be able to be on board, and I'll pass along your comments to him about the honey locusts. Okay?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor.
You're very welcome.
One more matter. I was told that the Borough Council could not discuss the matter of beach fees because of ongoing litigation. Now, I don't know if that litigation is still ongoing, and if the Borough Council is free to discuss beach fees, but I haven't been mentioning it because of that for some time. Now, at the last meeting, Councilwoman Donovan brought it up, so it seems the Borough Council is discussing it. Is there litigation ongoing?
I'm not sure I understand your.
Regarding the surfer who was arrested.
Oh, in terms of who can pay a beach fee and who supposedly can't based on the public trust doctrine. That's the area you're talking
The
about.
public trust doctrine and the 2019 state law that enshrined the public trust doctrine. So it's not just the public trust doctrine, it's state law.
Yeah. I believe council has advised, well, that we're in compliance with the law as we, as we run the beach currently.
We can't get into any specifics as to what happened last year. So it's been my position that the public trust doctrine has been the law forever. And there's a case law that deals with it. And that case law basically says that we have to provide equal access to everyone on equal terms. And that's what we do. There's also the statute that allows us to charge beach fees. So that comes into play with how we provide access to people. So it's my opinion that everybody that wants to access the beach needs to pay a beach fee. Now that statute, also the law of the land, has exceptions. So we do follow the exceptions. We don't charge children fees, we charge discounts to seniors, there's a number of others, but that statute doesn't mention surfers or fishermen, and it certainly could, but it doesn't. So when the borough has to operate the beach, the state allows us to charge a fee. It tells us how to charge a fee, who we have to charge a fee to, and then the public trust doctrine requires that we do it all equally. So that's basically my position. I understand the 2019 statute, but that references the public trust doctrine. Really doesn't require anything except for the DEP to take certain actions when certain permits are applied for. So when we say the public trust doctrine has been enshrined, it's always been the law. So that statute does mention it, doesn't create it, and doesn't require it any further than the Supreme Court has already required us. And I think we're in compliance.
I think the public trust doctrine says that we have the right, it quite plainly says that we have the right to cross the beach and use the ocean and the beach below the historic mean high tide line. So maybe I gotta go to law school because that, to me, that's what it says in plain English. And well, I'll say one more thing. I could talk all night on this, but you know that we don't do that here. Immigrants are under attack in this country because there's a madman in power in Washington trying to take away all of our constitutional rights, and every citizen should speak up against it. But while immigrants are under attack, I have spent a lot of time at the boardwalk, and I have seen many people turned away, refused the right to go and take a swim in the ocean because they couldn't afford the $12. And many of those people are immigrants. And I've seen many of them wait until the end of the day when the lifeguards go home and the badge checkers go home, and then they go swimming in unsafe, unguarded waters, and people have died. So just like the budget cuts in Washington are killing people today, people have died because of the beach badge system. It's wrong. The Borough Council could suggest to the administrator that he submit a bill to the state for all the costs that the borough has to incur to operate the beach, and the state could provide that money to the borough, and the local control would be maintained, but people would have the right to use the beach unobstructed by any level of government. Thank you.
Thanks, Neil, I appreciate your comments. Any other comments from the public?
Greg Mitchell, 1304 Ocean Avenue. I guess this is directed to DPW. I want to say thank you very much. The gentleman was up, maybe I'm a little bit late to this party. There was a gentleman that spoke about the stickers on the mast from the Malta by 7-Eleven, and it was an eyesore, and that seems to be taken care of. So thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Any other comments?
Can I have a motion to close the public session?
Motion?
Oh, thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm sorry I'm jumping in late here, and I apologize for being late. I had an unmovable appointment, but I got here as soon as I could. I just wanted to let everyone know there are two environmental commission cleanups coming up. The first one is on the first environmental commission event will be held in conjunction with the Lake Como Environmental Commission down at Taylor Pavilion, May 3rd. Jody did, okay. So, and the Silver Lake cleanup that Mr. Shack alluded to will be held on May 10th. Now it was rained out the first time. So I just want to let everyone know that, and the Belmar Women's Club is having a luau on May 15th. So I wanted to get that on everyone's radar as well. Oh, did I get that right there? Yeah, okay.
I think we've closed the public session. Okay.
No, I think.
I always seem to come up last, but Johanna Robinson, 406 9th Avenue. I just want to mention, I noticed when I was at the beachfront by the pavilion, the flag that we have there is tattered. So it probably does need to be replaced. So, and maybe we can look throughout the town where our major public areas that we do have the right flags that are put together. All right, thank you.
Billy will.
We actually placed the flag order today, so it'll be replaced shortly. Cool.
Not yet.
See, April, I knew we should have closed the public session.
Sorry guys.
I thought we had actually, but.
I didn't get a second.
Go ahead.
Take a look. Claire Hanger, 18th and B, May 10th, while you're getting ready to clean up the lake, stop by Jersey Mike's, grab a sub. Belmar Women's Club is getting 25% donated back to them so that we can help the community. May 10th. Or treat mom ahead of time, or get ready for Porch Fest. A lot going on that day. You gotta eat. Stop by Jersey Mike's. Thank you.
See, that was a very good comment. Thank you so much. I'm glad we took the time to listen to it. Okay.
All right, motion to close the public session.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We have one more item, is a resolution authorizing the council to adjourn into executive session, where it has been determined that the Borough Council, it is necessary to discuss the following specific matter at its regular meeting in the absence of the public, pending litigation and contract negotiations, whereas the Open Public Meetings Act permits the Borough Council to exclude the public from that portion of a public meeting during which such matters are discussed. Now therefore be it resolved that the Borough Council shall recess into a private executive session from which the public shall be excluded to discuss the above referenced matters, that the scope of the executive session shall be limited to the above matters as stated, that those matters discussed in executive session shall remain confidential until such time as the need for confidentiality no longer exists as determined by the borough attorney, that minutes of the closed session shall be taken by the clerk and kept free from public view until such time that the need for confidentiality no longer exists, and that the regular meeting of the Borough Council shall resume after the executive session, at which time the Borough Council may take action in reference to the topics discussed. Do we have a motion to offer this resolution?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you.
In spirit.
I announced the Taylor Pavilion landscape gardening thing.
Saturday. Yeah.